Pisces, it's a new year, 2014. By my clock, the 3rd of January 2014. So welcome to the new year, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about resolution. Resolutions are usually made in the first few weeks of the year, and we see that, to my way of seeing, the two important planets relating to that are Saturn and Pluto. They give the focus, the concentration on achieving what you want, and Pluto, of course, not always welcome when he demolishes those very things in our lives that we think are going to be the things we need, when in fact they're not the things we need. They're the things we need to get rid of. That's sometimes a very big pill to swallow. But the resolution for you, I think, a few different areas. You have to resolve to understand what it is you want right now. You can't dilly-dally anymore. You've got a huge cluster of planets now, including that Pluto, Sun, Mercury, new moon, and the Venus in the 11th house in Capricorn, all aspected too by Saturn, Mars, Jupiter. So pretty much everything's converging on this sector of the horoscope. Friendship, I think, would be one of the key words to sum that up. But I want to spin this a little bit differently for you today, because the most important friend you have in life is your own self. And I think, as is the case with many Pisceans, they have a tendency to want to put someone else up on a pedestal, to help that person, to glorify that person. And this is where sometimes the Piscean personality falls down. So right now I'd like to say to you, to my way of seeing your horoscope at this early part of the year, you need to recommit to making your mind, your emotions and yourself your best friend. If you can't befriend yourself, then you may be helping all these other people, but you've got to look at the underlying motives why you're doing that. Is it because you need acceptance, because you want attention? Vow first to love yourself, and then you can truly be of use to all the people around you. So that's one point that I see here. And the new moon that just occurred is very important, because I think it could be a time when you're about to make some new friends and again perpetuate that same old cycle where I've used this term a lot, the saviour ends up becoming the martyr. And we do know that Pisces is the symbol for both of those two extremes in life. The other thing here, Pisces, is that the 11th house has to do with one's lifelong ambition or goal. And with so many planets here in this 11th house right now as the year commences, it's telling me that you're a little bit scattered. You're splintered in your mental understanding of what it is that you want. You have to recommit. If you've been in some sort of line of work or some sort of creative endeavour or relationship, this is the time right now to sort of examine, without any bias, without any discrimination, without any sort of bias, the reasoning and the real nature of what it is that you want. So if you're splintered, there's an old saying for those who want to be successful, you can't serve two masters. You really have to focus in on what it is that's important to you. That is primarily the resolution that needs to take place throughout this, at least this early part of 2014. We see you have Mars, one of your best planets there, located in the 8th house just now. That's going to present some problems financially. Your energy and your drive may be a little bit down. And again, that's in the sign of Libra, showing us that you're probably a little bit indecisive about this. So that's another factor that's adding fuel to that problem of not being clear on which way you want to travel just now. The new moon is going to move into its full phase around the middle of the month in the company of Jupiter in the 5th house. Now that's an excellent placement. I'd say the second half of the month is going to help you make that breakthrough. You don't have to rush into the resolution. Of course, if you don't know what it is you want to do, how can you make a resolution, right? So as soon as that moon moves into the phase of conjunction with Jupiter, fullness, 5th house of creativity, these two planets are in some of their best positions. So I really like what I'm seeing there. You've got your ruling planet Neptune moving through your own sign of Pisces. So these, I think, are auspicious moments for you to make those breakthroughs. These will be very emotional too. So you'll get, you've got to have that emotion behind anything that you want to do. It can't just be an intellectual process. And that's the time that I think that's likely to happen for you, Pisces. By the way, the new moon in the 11th house, that new friend, if you do meet someone, I'm not saying you should jettison that friendship up front. Just give it a couple of weeks to come to maturity, and I think you may find, for some of you anyhow, that there's a romance in the offering at this time of the year. Good luck with that. I'll be here again next month. Resolution was the key. There's more detail, however, at my website, astrology.com.au, if you want to look at the dailies, the monthlies, and a broader-based view of the yearly happenings in advance there at the site. And until next month, have a good one. Bye-bye.